Before going into this movie, I knew absolutely nothing about the Dungeons & Dragons RPG, and after walking out of the theater, I still don't know anything about the RPG. But I do know I had a fun time with this film. So Dungeons & Dragons is a brand new fantasy adventure film which is based off of the tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons. The film is directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, and the movie stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Regé-Jean Page, and Hugh Grant. The film is about a band of unlikely adventurers who embark on an epic quest to retrieve a long-lost relic, but their journey goes dangerously awry as they encounter multiple threats to prevent them of victory. The biggest thing for me was the ensemble cast. I thought the entire cast was great. Everyone had some sort of dynamic and chemistry with them. They all flowed well together. None of the dialogue between them felt forced. It felt natural. It felt organic. And somehow, every character managed to bounce off of one another. Whether it be the heroes versus the heroes or the villains versus the villains, they all managed to find some sort of intertwined connection between one another to bounce back off of. And I thought the entire cast did a great job with that. So props to them. I really admired the creativity of this world. Everything from the mythical creatures to dark magic to dark wizards. I thought it was a blast to see, and honestly, they can do a lot with this movie. And with this movie being only 2 hours and 15 minutes, there was only so much they could show within this world. But if this movie were to get future installments, I would want them to explore more of this world because this world is way too big for just one movie and to just leave it at that. This movie kind of reminded me of the first Avenger film back in 2012. You have these group of heroes who have a common enemy and they come together to defeat that common enemy. Kind of similar to the first Avengers film or really almost any other superhero film in a way. But I will say there is a moment towards the final act where there is a scene that literally looked like something straight from that Hulk versus Loki scene. And I was like, they definitely took that from Avengers 1. They had to. Now, the fight scenes in this film were actually kind of cool. Now, they weren't on par as the fight scenes in John Wick 4, but they kind of were on par with the first Avengers movie. Also, Regé-Jean Page, man. He was just so cool in this movie. Now, he's not in this movie as much as I thought he was going to be, but when he is on screen, he just steals the show, and he's just a delight to see. That kind of came out wrong. Now, there are moments where the CGI actually looks decent, and then there are moments where the CGI just looks flat out terrible. When those bad CGI scenes are on screen, I just looked at it like, ooh, that's bad. And there are a couple of predictable plot points in this film that I feel that anybody could have saw coming from a mile away, but overall, it doesn't ruin the experience of this movie. In the end, Dungeons & Dragons is a pretty fun movie. I can't lie. I laughed. I was entertained. I enjoyed the overall adventure of it. And this is a movie that I hope gets a sequel. So plugging Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves into the rank system, I am placing this one in the pass zone. This movie is not really anything groundbreaking or some sort of spectacle in cinema, but it's a pretty fun movie, and I truly hope this movie gets a sequel because I want to see more of this universe. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review for Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought of Dungeons & Dragons. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you hope this movie gets a sequel? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.
After working up the nerve almost equal in size, I walked around with the iron for any wrinkle in time. I paid a piece of my mind for every nickel and dime, but never less than a 5 and never slept on a job. A killer crept on your squad, yet never left the garage. When your guide was close enough to see the flesh of his eyes. Get to the button and press is what the message advised. What's the threat? Behind the vest is where the test